Alright, quick note. This process works for every vehicle, no matter make, model, year. It's an assured way of getting a remote turn-on wire. It does not require you to get behind the factory head unit or dash. And it's as simple as removing 1 to 2 panels below your feet and having something to test the power with. Other than that, I hope this video helps you out and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how to wire a remote turn-on wire, either for an amplifier, LEDs, ambient lighting, or anything else that would require to come on whenever you turn on the ignition. What you're going to need is something to securely connect the wires, whether that be electrical tape or some kind of quick connectors. You're going to want something to cut the wire and strip the wire, and something to measure current or voltage, such as a test light or a multimeter. And you need something to unfasten some of these connections. So right here, in my case, it's going to be bolts, and in your case it might be screws, but so you're either going to need a screwdriver. In my case, I just have a drill, so I'm going to use my drill. So alright, the first step is to remove this panel and the panel next to the ignition. I'm going to do that real quick, and I will be back after I do that. Alright, so once you remove your panels, you want to set them off to the side, somewhere where you won't break them or scratch them in any way. You want to grab your electrical tester, whether it be a DMM or your light tester, and you want to set, if it's a DMM, you want to set it to DC voltage, which is, I don't know if you can see it right there, the one with the dotted lines. AC is the squiggly line, and battery DC is going to be the line, the straight line with the dotted line underneath. Alright, so once you do that, you want to get your ground. And in this case, I can just put this right in here. See this find. You just want to stick your ground somewhere where, you know, it's out of the way, something like that. Alright, then you want to come up here to this big mess of wires. First, you got to put your keys in the ignition. Alright, so you want to stick the positive lead of your meter in every wire, right? So let me set this down so I can show you what I mean. Alright, so you want to get your lead and put it in your wires and turn your car on. Wires that aren't are going to show little to no voltage, and wires that are will show the positive 12 volts. So that one had no voltage. Let me show you one that will have the signal that you want. And most likely the one that you want is going to be on one of the thicker wires. And to tap into it, all you got to do is get your positive lead and stick it in somewhere where it can touch one of the electrical connections. Alright. Each and every time you want to turn your car off before you stick your lead in there, and then turn your car on to test it. In my case, boom, you have voltage. And so I know that this is the wire that I need to the remote turn on wire to. So Once you find out that wire, you want to either have some T-splices that splice right into the wire like this one, or you can just have some regular quick connectors like this. Whatever you have really works. You don't even need any connectors. You can just simply strip the wire and, you know, make sure there's a good connection and then wrap it with electrical tape if that's what you want to do. But once you find out what wire it is, it's pretty simple. It's just you know, splice into that wire, get your remote turn on wire. In my case, I have a switch. You want to get your connectors. You know, no matter what kind of connector it may be. In my case, I'm just going to use these right now. So that's just what I have on hand. So you want to let me get this key out of the ignition. This is bothering me. Alright, so then you want to splice your connection by stripping the wire of your turn on wire, putting your connection on there. In my case, I stripped it a little bit too much, so we'll just simply cut some of that off. That's good right there. So you just want to put your connection on there, and then get whatever you're going to use to crimp it with and crimp them. Oh. And then give it a little pull test. Make sure it's on there nice and good so it doesn't come loose in the future. And you just want to repeat that process with the other wire. Alright. Alright, so once you get your connections together and on the wires, you always want to make sure that they're not going to cause any shorts by getting some electrical tape and wrapping that around. And this actually does two things. It makes sure that you're not going to have a short, and it also secures them even further from coming apart, you know, in the future and causing you to have to repeat all this and find the problem for whatever device not working later on in the future. So it's just as simple as that. Make sure it's nice and good, nice and secure. And then you want to run your wire however you're going to run it. In my case, I'm going to have the switch tucked right here so that at any time this is going to my amp, and say it's late at night and I'm pulling up to my apartments, or you know, for some reason I'm going to pick up a friend and I don't want to be bumping too loud with the subs, I can just simply kill it, and you know, there will be no subs. It'll just simply be the bass from the car speakers, and it'll be as simple as that. Alright, so before you put your panels back, you want to make sure that everything is working. And turn my switch on, put my keys in the ignition, turn on the car. You want to test your devices no matter what they are. In this case, mine is an amp. And as you can see, the power light is on and it's not in the protective mode, so everything is wired correctly. Now let's test the switch, see if the switch kills it. Indeed, so it does. Just to show y'all that I'm not lying and it's not just a switch wired to hot, I will turn the switch on, turn the car off, remove the key, and come and show you that the amp is not on even though the switch is on, because it only turns on whenever the ignition is turned forward and the switch is turned to the on position. So other than that, it's just put all the panels back and enjoy, you know, whatever device you have, no matter subs, LEDs, ambient lighting, or so forth. I'm going to finish up here, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Alright, so this is what it looks like after it's all wired up. You see, there's the switch right there. No wires hanging. It's nice and clean. I got it running this way, down here, and all the way to the back. Let me show you that it is working. I'm just going to put it on the radio real quick. I don't know if you can hear it. Here it is working. See those subs moving? And it's on. So yeah, that's the easy remote turn on wire. If you want to see my full sub build, the way I built my subs and how I wired them within the factory unit, you can just click on this video right up here and it'll take you to it. So there you go.